which is a design manufacturer cell, which is this is a hard problem, and there are entire companies that's all they do. But the rate of progress is good, and but like I said, no major breakthroughs. There's a lot of work just to say like how many gigawatt hours of cells need to be made every year to really transition the world to a sustainable energy economy. It's actually, you know, hundreds of gigawatt hours per year, ultimately perhaps thousands. And a lot of it will go to stationary storage. So for pairing wind power with stationary battery packs and solar power with stationary battery packs.
Could you do me a huge favor?
And just overall improving the efficiency and stability of the grid with the stationary battery packs. That's actually quite a big deal. So yeah, but overall I feel like things are progressing at a good rate.
Tell me now. Okay, thank you so much. Just type dirty Tesla.
Is it?
Dirty
so
Tesla.
I've been, again, when you think of a lot of the OGs that I've met over the years who've been following Tesla, I'm fairly late to the game, but it's crazy even since 2018, going from being
that's good. Yeah, that's good. All right,
weeks,
thank you.
if not days, from bankruptcy to how the company has been going from ramping to 5,000 Model 3s into full self-driving. And the one thing, I mean, I always knew that I was driving a robot at the end of the day, but never did I think, I guess maybe I was just limited in thinking that we would ever create humanoids in Tesla specifically. And again,
Yeah.
how would you say, as also too, Tesla is an AI robotics company, how has that just changed the outlook for Tesla, just having these bots maybe, ramping to being in the factories? And you've made comments about how you believe, Tesla will be the most valuable company in the world. And so, how is robotics?
Yeah.
So how has robotics, humanoids just impacted the valuation of you and really the vision for the company?
Right. Well, I mean, you can think of the Tesla cars as essentially robots on four wheels. So it's really profound, and I'd recommend just giving demonstrations of the self-driving capability to people, to friends and family and stuff, because if you take a Model 3 or Model Y, I mean, it's a good-looking car, but it doesn't look like it has like super intelligence. It looks like it's a good-looking electric car, but it doesn't look like it's like. I use the analogy like, let's say you had a cat, and it looks like a normal cat, but actually your cat can talk and jump up and do like a hat and cane dance and do like a musical.
Are you talking about Garfield?
Actually, let's say you had a sentient cat that could talk and sing and dance. But people look at the cat on the couch and the cat, well, it just looks like a normal cat, until it jumps up and does the song and dance, and it's like, whoa, wow, what was that? So that's the thing with the self-driving is that, yeah, sure, the Model 3 Y, they're good-looking, normal-looking cars, except ours can basically sing and dance, and it's intelligent and can drive from one place to another. So just demonstrating that to people kind of blows their mind. So I'd recommend doing that because that's really key. And then for the Optimus robot, that's really an extension of what we've learned with the car. So the car is a robot with four wheels, intelligent robot with four wheels, and Optimus is an intelligent robot with arms and legs. So, in the case of in case of Optimus, we have to design every part of the robot from scratch. All the motors and gears and electronics and sensors all have to be designed from scratch, and also we have to learn how to operate all of these motors and sensors. You really get to learn a lot about how the human body works, and realize there's a reason why we evolved this way. There's a reason why the muscles that operate your hand are actually located in your forearm, because you actually and so you're, if you look at your sort of hand, it's sort of like it's like a puppet basically, and the puppet strings are in your forearm, and the so. I mean, there are a small number of muscles that are actually in the hand, but most of the muscles that operate your hand are in your forearm. So with the current version of Optimus, we actually have the actuators in the hand, but with the new version that we're moving to later this year, the actuators are in the forearm, and really emulating how a human hand works. So, there really are no motors and there are no actuators. When I say actuator, an actuator would be like motor plus gearbox plus power electronics and sensors. There are no actuators that you can buy for really any amount of money that work well for a humanoid robot. So we have to go back to physics first principles and design all of the actuators from scratch. So it's a tremendous amount of work, and I think it'd be very difficult for any company that does not have, that's not extremely good at designing actuators to make an effective humanoid robot. And then it'll have the same like brain as the car. So initially hardware 4 and then hardware 5 in 26. And then just as the car is learning how to navigate reality, it's the same basic process for the humanoid robot. And I think basically everyone's gonna want one. So it's like, who wouldn't want, sort of like, there's no ways to think of robots, but like let's say R2-D2 and C-3PO were real, and you can have them. Like, who would not want R2-D2 C-3PO? That would be awesome.
Elon, yeah.
Like a friendly buddy robot. I mean, they stay friendly, of course. That's very important.
I was hoping for Garfield.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of like people will get pretty attached to their humanoid robots, just like people, you get attached to C-3PO and R2-D2. I think everyone's going to pretty much want one. And I think long term, the cost of the humanoid robot should be less than the cost of a car because it weighs less. There's fewer parts in it. So ultimately, I think a humanoid robot that is super useful. I think long term is probably like $20,000 or $25,000. So it depends on what a dollar's worth in future, inflation and all. But current year dollars, I think. I can see reaching a price of $20,000-$25,000 for a humanoid robot that would be really useful. That could help you take care of kids, walk the dog, go get groceries, like whatever works, So I think everyone's gonna want one. So there's 8 billion people on Earth, and I think they're all gonna want one. So that's why I think it's probably gonna be the biggest thing ever.
Elon, what are you going to use your robot for?
Well, initially we're starting like production unit 1 of production design 1 of Optimus, which we'll do some basic stuff in the Tesla factories next year because we want to iron out a lot of details. It's just to make sure it's useful. And for the first year or so, it's going to require quite a lot of babysitting from engineering, and then hopefully when we get to 2026, that'll be when we can sort of sell it outside of the company, because and have be confident that it'll work reasonably well and respond to voice commands and that kind of thing. So, and that you'll be able to sort of, I think, customize how the robot looks as well, long term. Because, you can kind of shell or skin the robot however you'd like. So I think there'll be wide variations in how the robot looks, how the robot looks, and maybe like some third parties could do cool things. Just like there's like cool third party wraps of the Cybertruck. Some really creative art, I think. So the Cybertruck's like, even though it ships as kind of like bare stainless steel, it ends up having some of the most interesting art in terms of how it's wrapped. And so it's really quite unique. And actually, I talked to Pharrell. He was also very creative, and he has some ideas for doing a Pharrell version of an Optimus, for example, which would be pretty cool to have like different artists come up with different versions of Optimus.
So, speaking of Cybertruck, I've had a Cybertruck since middle of February, and I'm so used to FSD. And you probably know.
You really want that? I totally agree.
I don't know if I could get special access, but or more importantly for everybody, I'm just saying I've driven 10,000 miles, and it kills my soul to be driving the most advanced technology.
Sure.
And I feel like I'm driving. It's still the most amazing vehicle
Sure.
Tesla's ever made, but any updates on FSD with Cybertruck?
Well, I think that should be coming out in August. So,
So technically 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's at some point in the next 2 to 4-ish weeks. It should work. I mean, I'm not sure the exact timing because we just have to test it and make sure it works well. So, but 12.5 is where a lot of things come together. Where you've got the high, we upgrade the highway stack to be the latest version. So it's you don't have the old highway stack and the new city stack. Yeah, so having one sort of integrated state-of-the-art stack for highway and city is a big deal. And like little things like you can wear sunglasses and still do the hands-off driving, and then having it work on Cybertruck. Yeah, I mean, a friend of mine drove a Cybertruck all the way halfway across the country, and he said it was driving him crazy that he could not turn on FSD because it was.
We literally have people, I think, who drove from Florida, Toronto, in their Cybertrucks. Well, not for, but just coming from all over the U.S. And I think that's literally the one thing they were just like feeling peasant status, even though this is the best product that Tesla has made yet. So.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great product. So yeah, it should be very soon. So yeah.
Elon, what other feature car projects are you most excited about? Is it the Roadster? Is it the Robotaxi? Can you speak about what you're most excited about?
Well, I think in terms of what will have the biggest impact in the world will be the Robotaxi, dedicated Robotaxi. Now, of course, all Tesla vehicles can operate it, or will be able to operate as a Robotaxi. Pretty much all. So. But yeah, I think the dedicated Robotaxi will have the single biggest effect in the world. The semi-truck, I think, will have a very, very big effect. The Roadster is one of those things that's not like necessary from a utility standpoint, but is super cool. I guess a friend of mine, Peter Thiel, is like. He always says like, why don't we have flying cars? And I'm like, wait for it. So I think it's super cool. Does it change the world? I don't know, but I think like sometimes you just gotta have things that are just cool because it's just great to have awesome things in the world. So it's kind of cherry on the cake. I think the Roadster demo will be mind-blowing. It might be the most mind-blowing demo of anything ever.
Wow. So, quick follow-up. When is that happening? I don't know if you can share that, but it's all good.
I think next year. Next year sometime. And that's a joint sort of Tesla SpaceX effort. So. It's kind of applying combining rocket engineering with Tesla EV engineering to make something really special.
I heard it can fly a little.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be something special, and we'll continue to make new products that we haven't talked about at all. So there's new things that'll come out. But the really ultra profound thing is full self-driving. Unsupervised full self-driving.
He said
That's like
Roadster next year.
Gigantic thing. And then Optimus having an autonomous, useful humanoid robot is an even bigger thing than full self-driving. But those are the two things that, like, if you were to look back in history from, fast forward like 20, 30 years or 50 years even, like what are the things that really were profound? It'll be unsupervised, a general solution to unsupervised full self-driving, and a humanoid robot that is truly useful. Even 100 years from now, they'll be like, well, those are big ones.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt the audio, but I can't type. As long as you guys are nice to each other, I'm not going to kick you out.
The launch of the Robotaxi. What can we expect from that?
Well, I can't give it away. Gotta have some. You don't want to give the show away before the show. So
Just
I think
a tease. Just a tease.
I think it'll be cool. I think we will be pretty excited, yeah. It's like I do wonder, like, in the actual event itself, how many people will realize how profound it is, what we're gonna show? I think some people will understand how profound, not everyone will, but it will be obvious in hindsight.
So, I know we've been going 45 minutes. I just want to do a quick time check. Or do you want to keep going a little bit more, or because we're so grateful for time?
5 or 10 minutes more.
Okay. So, yeah, everyone taking even into this. One thing I wanted to ask you is, so, we have, obviously the latest vehicle, the Model 3 Performance, or really the Model 3 Highland has been out, the Cybertruck came out. When you think of just, obviously, even the future of transportation, and obviously that's obviously where Franz comes in play with the design, but when you think of unsupervised FSD, how does that change the way you even approach tackling or building something, like the future of transportation? And again, I know I don't have to throw the design aspect into it, but just when you think of what is next, how does the future of transportation work?
Well, if you're not driving, you're really effectively sitting in like a tiny lounge, and then having, say, being entertained with being able to watch movies or play video games or work, it's really, the car just becomes like a tiny mobile lounge. That's or you could sleep, whatever you want to do. I mean, you could drink too, and you're not driving. So it's this thing where, like, it's like a little mobile lounge. It's not something that you have to be, focus your attention on driving all the time. So it's a completely different experience. One cool thing I should mention is that would be, I think, interesting down the road is also for Optimus. For people that have lost their limbs, that if you take Neuralink, basically being able to control, which the Neuralink version 1 telepathy allows you to control electronic devices. If somebody's lost their arms or legs or whatever the case may be, then taking, say, an Optimus arm or leg and attaching that and enabling combining that with a neural link would give them essentially cybernetic limbs. Kind of like Luke, I don't know, like Luke Skywalker and Empire Strikes Back, you know, where you get like a robot hand. So I think that could be pretty incredible for people that have lost limbs, being able to have like a cybernetic limb. I think that'd be a cool sort of combined effort between Neuralink and Tesla.
Elon, there was some recent news on X about some candy announcements or something like that.
No, I don't know what that is. I was just joking about candy stuff. So, yeah, I have too much on my plate to add candy to it, I think.
Fake news.
Yeah. This is. I mean, it's wild how much is happening in the world. I mean, there's stuff happening in SpaceX and Tesla and all the advancements in AI. A lot of advancements in pharma as well. There's a lot of interesting, like, kind of miracle drugs coming along. We're certainly headed for, I think, the most interesting future. I think we live in the most interesting of times. Sometimes it's like easy to sort of, like, I don't know, get down about like some day-to-day event or political stuff or whatever, but in the grand scheme of things, we are living in the most interesting time in history, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, just on that, it's so easy to. I honestly don't know how you do it on a minute by hourly basis on things that are just lies and things that are being said. But it's so important to have, a positive mindset, especially as those attacks are coming. Because if you're just depressed about everything that's just coming at you, it's just so hard to move forward. And so it takes people like you who are actually being a part of that change rather than just watching it from the sidelines. And so thank you for that. I mean, it's one thing I'll ask, and then I'll maybe pass it to Kelvin for Month's question. So we have a lot of retail investors here, as we know. It's actually, I just want to say how amazing X is, and how some of the stuff has even worked in the background. I remember meeting Amy Steffens, who was behind, obviously, who her team that she worked with to kind of like build a lawsuit, obviously, on the comp plan. I met her on an X Spaces, Twitter Spaces, and we got connected, and she ended up on our podcast, and next thing I know, she connects with Alexandra Mertz, Tesla Boomer Mama. And seeing all of the work that's happening behind the scenes with what Amy was doing and then what Alexandra was doing on the front facing. But the question I wanted to have is, when you think of retail investors and what it's meant to Tesla, what comes to mind, especially, again, all the work that, the community has done, Alexandra, the Amy's of the world, the Tesla community, but what comes to mind when you think of retail investors for Tesla?
Well, I love retail investors, I have to say, because I think retail investors, or individual investors, are like they're like making a decision to support the company, and that's super appreciated. I think we have the highest retail investor percentage of maybe any company, or maybe certainly one of the highest, and I think that's really a good thing. There's going to be sort of ups and downs in the stock price for random reasons, but I do feel confident that the long-term value of the company will be extremely high. I think the best analysis I've seen is like Kathy Wood's company, ARK Invest. They've been the most accurate in the past, and it's the value of companies is going to be kind of nutty with unsupervised full self-driving and and with Optimus. It's, I sort of wonder ultimately what money will even mean in the future, because if you've got robots that, if the cost of goods and services are driven to almost nothing, I think we will, assuming it's a positive future, which I think it probably will be, then we're headed for an age of abundance. I do feel like maybe that like Tesla's kind of in a phase right now, like similar to what Nvidia was in before Nvidia stock went bananas. And I have to say, like, Nvidia deserves the valuation that they've got. Jensen and his team have done an amazing job. But it really goes to show, like, the value of any kind of AI. A company that is strong in AI it's just going to be crazy, and it will dwarf the value of companies that do not have advanced AI. It really will be profoundly different. I mean, it's a simple sort of productivity, kind of back of the envelope math for cars is that, typical passenger car is about 10 hours of use a week. It's called like an hour and a half a day for 7 days, so it's about 10 hours. But if it's autonomous, it could be used 100 hours a week. Now, I'm not sure what the average usage would be, but average usage in autonomous mode might be 50 hours, but certainly it could be used 100 hours out of 168 hours a week. So that would be a 10x increase in the productivity of the car, but it costs the same. So if you just do the basic math on that, it's like, okay, now you go from like, I don't know, 25% margins to 19% margins. It's insane. And then, for cars that are owned by customers, then we'd obviously revenue share with the customers, and so the owners of the cars, I think, I think would earn quite a bit more than the lease cost or financing cost of the car when it's in autonomous mode. But if you just think of asset utilization efficiency, and you go from 10 hours a week of a car to 50 or 100 hours a week, and it's the same car, it's the biggest explosion in value, maybe ever.
Why do you want GPT in your car? I'm just curious.
I had a quick follow-up, but again, let us know where we can do a time check. But you kind of were just talking about just content, and like one question I actually had, it was a follow-up kind of a little bit to what you were mentioning and some off topic, but do you foresee a rise in mechanisms to determine the authenticity of content and the validity of what is being said? Like, I think that's in this future, right? I mean, I see half the time I feel like I turn up YouTube and, they're taking an interview from you, and then you're randomly mentioning Bitcoin. Or I've seen interviews of us, like people are messaging us from our interview back in May of 2022, and they're live streaming it like it's happening live. Like, wow, I looked different 2 years ago with long hair. It's like, but it's you talking and you're randomly, the Bitcoin, real is going on the bottom. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be promoting crypto. So if at most in a joking way, but if you see me pumping crypto, it's not me. I mean, I do think there's some merit in Bitcoin and maybe some of the other crypto, and I sort of have a soft spot for Dogecoin because I just like dogs and memes. Yeah, I don't know. On the X platform, there's pretty quickly things get community noted, or there's in the replies people say, "Hey, this is not real." So I think I don't know. We can work to try to have community notes surface faster, and also to if similar videos are popping up that the community note gets appended to any kind of similar video. But I think it's definitely always, one should be cautious about seeing any. If you see a sales pitch for crypto, I would double check whether that is real.
All right, Elon. I want to wrap up with a final question for you, which is, what are you most excited about regarding Tesla and SpaceX?
Well, I think I've basically described it already, but the key for SpaceX is to achieve full and rapid reusability of the Starship rocket. This is really the holy grail of space technology. No one has ever made a fully reusable orbital rocket. So Starship is the first design that is even capable of that. This is an absolutely profound thing, because a fully reusable, rapidly reusable rocket is the difference between humanity being a single planet civilization and a multi-planet civilization. So that's gigantic, and I think we might get there next year. So that's a big deal. And then for Tesla, yeah, I mean, or count the chickens until they're hatched. These are tough chickens, but I think it's going to happen next year. And then a general solution to self-driving, that is also an incredibly profound thing, and that's unsupervised full self-driving. That looks like it's, if it doesn't happen later this year, it seems extremely likely to happen next year. If you just plot the points in the curve of miles between interventions, that number is improving dramatically. So those are really the two whopper things. And then, as I mentioned, for Tesla, also Optimus. The Optimus numbers, like they're really they're like so mind-blowing that you're like, is this real? Because I actually think the market for humanoid robots is in excess of 10 billion units, like more than the number of humans. Because people will each want one, and then there'll be others that are involved in industry and stuff. So, if they do sell even a volume for $20,000 as 20 trillion, so it's like, I mean, this is bananas numbers, Actually, I should say so. Anyway, it's just insane numbers.
So we should hold on to their stock.
Yeah, it's just really nuts. I should say $200 trillion. This is just an insane number. Yeah, $20,000 times 10 billion. So 20 trillion, 200 trillion. It's a lot. It's like bananas numbers. So that's why I wonder, what does money even mean at that point, So these things are, like I said, they're so profound that they will be recognized, assuming we do them, could actually do them, they will be recognized 100 years from now, maybe 1,000 years from now, as fundamental milestones in civilization. That's the level of significance we're talking about here. So we'll hold a couple years. And thanks for your support, guys. Really super appreciate it.
If we can, we would love to just get a virtual / in-person. I think you literally have a standing ovation happening right now. Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like I can now say Elon actually danced when you're talking about the cat at the X Takeover. So, but yeah, thank you again, Elon, Kelvin and I, on behalf of our organization. Thank you for being at the X Takeover, for giving us literally about an hour of your time and more. Thank you for the support of our community, retail investors, and we appreciate all that you're doing for humanity and actually picking up the shovel and doing it.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Elon. So, background on this. This was supposed to be 5 minutes. Like when he was DMing me back, he was like, maybe 5 minutes. And then it went from 15 to 30. And then next thing you know, we're going an hour. Yeah, so thank you guys for just coming out and being a part of this event. Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing, guys. So, not quite the 4-hour interview we got a couple years ago, but pretty close.
All right,
Starling for the win.
I'm the biggest
All right,
freaking
so you heard it from the GOAT.
weirdo right now,
Stay tuned
live
for
streaming
our
on
next
2
segment,
phones at the
which
same
will be
time.
the
So I'm just gonna turn off because everyone's probably gonna leave unless you guys want to hang out for a minute. I'm fine with that. I'm reading your comments. Yes, bye dog. I got you lots of dog. Oh, I should stay over here out of the wind. I got you lots of dog footage. Oh god, that sounds so wrong. The dog shoes footage. So X Takeover is just like a bunch of Teslas get together and people get to come check them out and stuff. So yeah, that's it. It's in California. I'm hanging out here. I'm gonna leave tomorrow, but that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. There's lots of cool stuff here, but I don't know. I've just been meeting people and talking and having a good time. So Doggo was bored. Any thoughts? Okay, sure. He did talk about Hardware 5 and stuff. He said Hardware 5 2026, which is really cool. And he mentioned Cybertruck. So I've been saying, you know, for a bit here that Cybertruck, full self-driving, I would guess, is within the next month. And then he just said 2 to 4 weeks, which, you know, Elon says a lot of things that aren't true. I don't think intentionally. I think he really, at this point when he said that, he thinks it's going to be done in 2 to 4 weeks. But it's not done, and you just never know what can happen in the meantime, right? That can delay that doneness. And so something might happen. But yeah, I would guess since we're on 12.5, 12.5 is in the wild. We know they've been doing something to make 12.5 work on Cybertruck. I would think within a month we will have FSD on Cybertruck, and I'll get to make those videos, which is going to be so awkward. Driving Cybertruck around without FSD sometimes is weird. So driving it with FSD is also going to be really weird. But yeah, and he talked about Optimus, which, tell me if the wind is bad. I'll try to find somewhere where it's not windy. Actually, if I stand right here, it's not as bad. But he talked about Optimus a lot, which is the thing that I'm the most excited for. All right, I'll ban you. Bye. I don't know why you want to be banned, but you asked for it, so there you go. Optimus is the thing I'm most excited for, and you know, I think 2 years is still pretty quick if that comes to like households within 2 years. But seeing that thing actually performing, doing a full-time job in a factory within the next 2 years, I think is reasonable and going to be insane and change the whole world. So, snow and ice to be solved. Yeah, like there's a lot to be. Oh man, I hope I don't get copyright strike because of this music. There's a lot to be solved. Like FSD on snow doesn't work. I mean, as of last winter, like, yeah, you can turn it on, and if you don't slip and stuff, the car's actually really good now at staying in the road, right, and kind of doing its thing. But it doesn't modulate the brakes correctly. Like, it'll brake just as hard as if the road was dry as it does on snow, which obviously you can't do. So I explained earlier, X Takeover is just a bunch of people. It's a big Tesla event. It's like the biggest one in the US of the year, and just a bunch of people bring out Teslas. So if you had to ask Elon a question or ask him to prioritize something, what would you say ask? For me, it's Optimus, because I think that Optimus, sorry, Twitter people, I'm not paying as much attention to that phone because I can't see any comments on it. For me, I think Optimus is like the number one like earth changer for everybody. So in terms of like whether you're rich or poor or wherever you live on earth, if you can get an Optimus, maybe that you don't own, but that is in your local area or in your house or something that can actually help you and do things for you or with you, that's going to be the ultimate thing to kind of help everybody on earth. Now, my biggest worry with Optimus is it's just going to be another thing that, you know, billionaires take advantage of and make themselves multi-billionaires instead of, they'll have $20 billion instead of $2 billion. But if it's the benefits are like evenly spread out to everybody, I think Optimus will be like the number one game changer for just like helping kind of humans in general. So I hate when Elon says FSD will be solved later this year. Oh, I know, he says that every year. So it's like kind of gets old to hear that every time. But you know, that's what he does. He pushes his teams to get stuff done that's impossible, you know, get it done eventually, right? So it's just, you just ignore it. I've been ignoring it the whole time, honestly, like ever since 2018 and 2019 when I was making videos. I was kind of like, FSD is not going to be done anytime soon. I've been saying that the whole time and just keep saying, well, I hope I'm wrong eventually. But yeah, I have not been wrong yet. I've been right, unfortunately. So what did Elon say Tesla and SpaceX would collaborate next year? I think he was talking about Roadster, but I kind of missed that too. People were talking about flying cars, and he was like, oh, wait till next year. So how does the Twitter number of viewers keep going up? That doesn't make sense. Why are you guys watching this? I'm happy for you to be here, but just every couple minutes, another 100 people join. It's weird. It seems artificially inflated. Booked a Tesla Model 3 in 2016, still waiting in India. Oh, man. I like his talking, dancing cat. That was pretty funny. All right, I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you around. Bye-bye.